Hello everybody, I'm back, Mr. McSquare, Realm of the Hidden Crater, and right now we're down in the Nether. Sure, it's organic Minecraft, yep, forgot to mention that. Anyway, we're down in the Nether, and, well, I lost everything except for my sword. Lava got me. As you can see, I'm digging away, building another project down here. And it's based off of giant villager statues, and when it's done, I'll put a video out about it. But what you need to know is I lost everything but my sword. The sword wasn't in the lava, everything else was. And, well, that's why we got a starter base. Not going to lose our mind, just going to rebuild. And about an hour later, we're in full netherite. Okay, I'm out of netherite supplies, so everything except for my sword here is netherite. And down the road, I'll get some more netherite and we'll finish it off. But thanks to having a handy dandy hidden crater starting base, all my gear is right back up to snuff. We're ready to keep going. And we have our enchanters in the houses around, so my tools are all spiffied up. And off we go. So, a little bit of a setback, but now we're ready to move forward. And I'll show you what we accomplished this week. Okay, take you over to the farm area, which is all underground right now. And we just run down here. You know what? Before we run through there, I'll just give you a view from the gallery. So up on the next level is a bit of a glass gallery area where you can look down at stuff. You can see the farms down below and the animal pens off in the corner. Okay. And now we'll take you down. Okay. So off on the side here, I showed you that we made sheep pens, and along with the sheep pen, of course, is all 16 colors of sheep. Those were an older episode, but next to the sheep we put shepherds. That's their little entrance area and their shop. So they've got a workshop there. There's the shepherds, and their looms is where you make banners. So inside their workshop are a couple of workstations, which are looms. And they've got their little residence in the back, a couple beds and whatnot. We're not savages after all. And of course, if I want to access the looms, I can make different patterns down the road. So that is the shepherd area. And it's nothing really. At the end of the day, it's a hole in the ground where I put a couple of villagers and their workstations. And you can see the colored wool is working nicely. There's ample amount of shears. Like, there's hardly any durability lost on them so far. And they're producing pretty good. We'll use that for later. And then next to the sheep, we added a pig pen. And with the pig pen are the butchers. Butchers will take raw meat for emeralds, like raw pork chops, which come from the pigs, into their work area, which is like a big giant kitchen. A couple of smokers there. And of course they've got their residence as well. And then moving on from the pigs, we've got the cows. So these are mushrooms from the Mushroom Island. And this area here, once I get some mushrooms hit by lightning, they'll turn into brown mushrooms. Little access door on both sides for the different cows. Regular cows over here, because they're so much easier to get. Whoop, baby cow. Stay in there, bud. That was a close one. Okay, so with the cows, the workstation we're going to use are the cauldrons for leather workers. And of course, if you want leather, you get it from the cows. Their residence here and their work area. And there we go. That's their fancy dancy hole in the wall. And there's quick view of the external cow pen. And you'll notice there's dirt blocks. Grass will eventually take it over, but really I just built this thing. The dirt blocks are still dirt, but eventually it'll be grass. Still got the 4 types of crop. And of course the caverns, which extend. And Seymour, the demon warning me, don't dig too deep. Watch where you go. If you do go, maybe leave your netherite behind so you don't have to get more. It's good advice, Seymour. I'll try to remember. But we do have lots of space down the caverns if we want to expand the complex in that direction. The mill, which was made in previous episodes, and you can see we just, from one harvest of the crops, gives you a good number of the different resources. Lots of potatoes, lots of beets. Whoop, wrong box. Carrots, not so many because I gave them to the farmers. And wheat. And the farmers are right next door to the mill in this area here. Now, most of them I've only made 2 of each of the workers, but for the farmers, you'll see 4 workstations there because I've got a ton of pumpkins. The pumpkin farm upstairs is just producing like mad. So instead of just having 2 farmers, there's actually 2 chambers of 2 all in this complex, so there's 4 farmers. 4 is not a big stretch from 2, but it is twice as many. And the reason why I wanted more farmers is because they trade pumpkins. I have so many pumpkins. So many pumpkins is now equal to so many emeralds. So I can go to all 4 of these farmers, and in one batch they'll each take 12 trades. That's 12 emeralds each. Will be 48 emeralds from one visit with them, just to unload pumpkins. They'll also take corn and wheat and melons and blah blah blah. But really, I've got so many pumpkins. I like having a lot of pumpkins. But I did go overboard. Why do it when you can overdo it? So right now in storage, each of those boxes labeled pumpkins is full except for the last one. The last one's a partial box. But all these other ones, I got pumpkins, okay? Lots of pumpkins. And now I've got a place to give them. So the 4 farmers downstairs, I can just feed pumpkins to until I have just a ton of emeralds. Okay. Next up is that little dot right there. That little dot right there at maximum view is actually a fair-sized guardian farm. Here it is blown up a little bit more pronounced. And I'll take you over there. Showed its construction in a previous episode. And now I'll just buzz you over so you can see the finished product. Because I keep going out the south side of the crater, I made a passageway out of here. Okay, so the passage just comes out of the south of the crater, and we've got a walkway down to the bay. And in the future, we'll make just a quick little port facility here for ships and some warehouses. And then this batch of mushrooms here, they've got a lightning rod in the middle. I want these buggers to get hit by lightning, and then I'll have the brown mushrooms, and then I'll transport them downstairs. Okay. So there's the old iron farm, and the creaking resin farm. The Sphinx, where my first enchanting table is. The old obelisk. And then you'll see, not far at all, across the water here. Okay. Sunken ship there. And that little dot in the distance, it's still rendering, but my guardian farm is in visual range of the Sphinx. There's the Sphinx. Rendering. And Then there's the Guardian farm. And my son had a great idea. It's like, why don't you put a big Guardian on top of the Guardian farm? That makes total sense. A big Guardian on the Guardian farm. So that's what I did. There's my big Guardian. He's made out of prismarine blocks, and the orange is orange terracotta. I also gave him an eye, which is just white glass and red glass. Okay, it's rendering right now. I'll give you another view of it when we get a little closer. Okay. And that's the above the water decoration. Carried around a bit of a design below the water level too. Because this was an ocean monument once upon a time. And we just made decorations of guardians right around the perimeter at the bottom. And just for giggles, we made their eyeballs look in different directions. And for eyes there, that's a block of redstone. Block of redstone with a diorite white of the eye, and then prismarine and dark prismarine. The orange is orange terracotta. You can see the guardians are just being processed into resources that we can shape into different blocks. And a big old guardian up above the water. And there he is. And all the black around it is cobbled deep slate tiles. Little access ladders at key points in case you fall down in the chutes. I guess I could enclose it, but for now it's open, and a couple of ladders to get out if I wind up stuck in there. It's a super simple farm. All the details are on a previous episode. This is just the cosmetic decoration of putting some guardians up there. And you can see it's got some good size. Easy to see from a distance. There's a honey elevator on this side and just a set of scaffolding on this side. So if we go on up, I don't know about doing the interior here. I made a sitting room, but down below this could be storage in the future. Don't know. Could turn this whole thing into a base if you really wanted to. But for now, I've just got a bit of a sea stone chair to sit out and wait for all the guardians to get processed into lovely resources. Good spot to AFK, but it's not the ideal spot. The ideal spot's actually one floor above me, because if you are too close to a spawning point, the guardians won't pop out, and if you're too far away, the guardians don't pop out. Here's the blown up view of the base on the biggest zoom map. And I don't know if I'm going to add ender chests or tridents or armor stands or what around the outside for decorations. But for now, you get the idea. It's just a place to sit and look out the window while you wait for all your guardians to get processed into reusable blocks. And this is where the sweet spot is. Height 83 puts you just far enough away from all the different spawn points to fire off. If you're up on the top here, you're too far from the ones on the outside. You can see the inside ones are still spawning. And if you go any lower, then the bottom ones don't spawn and the outside ones do. So the sweet spot is at height 83 there, right next to the scaffolding. Okay, at the bottom, I made it all spawn proof by just putting half slabs all over the bottom. There's no need to drain the ocean. Just half slabs. The monsters don't spawn over half slabs. Okay, and then we've got the item collection room. So I showed in the past that there's just a hopper line that goes from chest to chest, and of course a functioning maxed out conduit below, so that we don't have to worry about water breathing. It gives you night vision and mining boost as well. And then in that short period of time that we've been doing this tour, these are overflow boxes, but these are the resources that just in the time of doing this tour have shown up. That's a lot. And we'll convert those into sea lanterns and prismarine blocks, and it's just awesome. It also gives us a bunch of codfish, which we don't need, and I'll build some fishermen down the road, but that's a different build. We'll make a fishing fleet, and then I can take all the codfish and sell them to the fishermen. More emeralds than I'll ever need. Thank you very much, Minecraft. Okay, so we'll just load up and we'll get out of here. It's a beautiful farm. Once it's established, no maintenance. All the work's done. So let's get out of here. That's everything that was done this week. Now let's talk about where we're going from here. The next step after this, and I'll just give you the view on the way out, but the next step after this is going to be a raid farm. And my biggest thing about a raid farm is site location. I want it to be close by so I can access it, but it's got to be far enough away from everything that when you spawn raids, you're not going to murder all your other farms. So again, on our way out, just showing you the giant guardian on top of the guardian farm, the big old live ball, and the sitting room on the other side. Nice and close to the crater itself. So from the guardian, almost immediately, you can see the shoreline where the Sphinx is. From there, not far at all. Especially once you have Elytra, just zoom, you're already there. And you can see the Sphinx is already rendered in, and he's at the mouth of the bay where the fishing fleet will be. There's the iron farm, and that hillside is the crater. And it's rendering in. So, next step. Next step after this is going to be the raid farm. And I'm not going to show you the raid farm construction today because, well, it's already been 18 minutes. But that is the next thing on the to-do list. Okay, it's rendering in. My site for the raid farm is going to be up in the clouds. So why the clouds? Well, I don't want the raid to spawn into the base. I want it close by, but not close enough that it's going to kill all my villagers. So if I'm going to build in the clouds, I need a safety factor, and that safety factor is going to be water. And there's a big lake just to the northwest there. I'll show you on the bigger map. This lake here to the northwest of the crater, I'll build a cloud island up above that, so that if I'm building and I fall, I'm going to fall in a lake and not go splat. Because going splat's annoying. And because it's up in the clouds, when I spawn everything up there, it's not going to spawn in the crater, it's going to spawn on the cloud island. And we'll take you up there and give you a quick look at how that's going to look. The last time I built a cloud island was in a different series, and I used snow. Snow is awesome. Looks more like clouds than any other block I can think of. But pale oak is pretty good, and pale oak is way easier to harvest and farm and get a hold of. So let's see what that looks like. And really, strip pale oak, that's not bad. Not bad at all. It's usable. We'll take a look down below again. Fast forward mode to down below. To see what it looks like. That's not horrible. Like, there's a cloud flying over it right now, and the pale oak is just a little bit shadier, a little bit darker. That's okay. But you know what? I just like the snow better. There's nothing beats snow. So even though I put out hundreds of blocks, you know, I just had to double check. And that's the snow there to the left. So pale oak, it's not bad, but compared to snow, it looks dirty. Don't want a dirty cloud, I want a clean cloud. I want those clean snow blocks, which are a pain in the butt to harvest compared to all those pale oak blocks I have, but they look better. And if I don't do it, it's going to drive me nuts. So I guess we better reconstruct this whole thing out of snow. And it's a good thing I checked it now instead of getting any further along on this, because now I've got to undo all this pale oak. You can see I started and was starting to frame it out, and I think that's about 100 blocks square up there. And the island itself is going to be roughly 200 by 200 blocks, and 200 by 200 blocks is about 40,000 blocks for a base. It's a good thing I stopped now, but now I gotta go get 40,000 blocks of snow. Not counting extra blocks because I've got to build it up even higher. It's not going to be one level thick. It's going to be way. Oh my gosh, so much snow.